So new knife in the Rough Ryder Classic Cinnamon Bonestag Carbon Steel Blade series. I haven't seen anybody else do a video on this, although I haven't really been paying much attention to people's knife videos these days. Sorry, guys. I've been watching a lot of bike riding stuff, bike packing, mountain biking, stuff like that. If you follow me on Instagram, I think a lot of you will have realized that I've gotten really into bike riding since I got back from my trip in June. I've ridden over 500 miles since the end of June. So I've gotten really into bike riding. But anyway, cool knife here. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody else do video on it. I'm sure they are out there. This is a new knife from the Classic Cinnamon Bonestag series from Rough Ryder, which is really the only series other than the Rough Ryder Reserve that I'm interested in buying from Rough Ryder. And this is a jumbo trapper, and it's in this bones tag that has this like painted on black. Although it seems like maybe it's gotten better, and I have a white washcloth to test that then. But this is a jumbo trapper, meaning you got your main drop point blade or a Skinner blade, maybe if you're case. And then this spay blade has a really shallow nail neck, which is interesting. But you got your big old spay blade there. Um, Over the last couple of years, I've grown quite fond of these jumbo trappers. I have two from Great Eastern Cutlery. I have a Remington one. And then I have two of those USA made Queen ones um, that I've shown the red one, I think. The saw cut one or my saw cut one isn't the best example. But I really do like these jumbo trappers. It's just a ridiculously sized knife, but the cool thing about having two large blades like this is the knife is really good at food prep type stuff, and just really anything you need to do with it, to be honest. Um, but yeah, really cool knife. Carbon steel blades, which I'm a fan of. I like carbon steel over stainless steel. Um, but yeah, this may be my favorite knife in this series. Although I really like that cattle knife, I think it was called, that I did a video on a while ago. But anyway, I'm gonna put that washcloth. This looks a little bit better than the black stuff that was on here before. So I have a white dry washcloth. My girlfriend's watching. I'm sorry, um, but we're just gonna see if I can rub that off of there. So a little bit, it looks like, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it used to be. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of dirt there. But you used to be able to rub it off just with your finger. Let's see this side. Let's get a clean spot here on this washcloth. Okay. Yeah, so not nearly as bad. Still rubs off a little bit, but definitely a lot better. I don't feel like this is a health hazard, or at least not nearly as big of a health hazard. So that's cool. Overall, knife looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Put together pretty well. This is a $20 knife, so um, cool for $20 certainly. Made in China, so if you're not about that, you don't have to buy it. But affordable traditional pocket knives is how a lot of us, when I say us, I mean younger people like me, have gotten into traditional pocket knives, or in my case, more like back into traditional pocket knives. Although my knife that did that was a case sodbuster, but that was still like a $30 knife at the time or something like that. Um, but I think Rough Riders are a good way for younger people to get into traditional pocket knives and then start buying stuff like Kay's, Boker, Arthur Wright and Sons, French knives, which I love, um, Case knives. Did I already mention Case? Great Eastern Cutlery, obviously, if you can find it. Um, but yeah, these are a great way to get into that kind of stuff. It's a stepping stone along the way. People that are into modern folders aren't going to spend $120 on a Great Eastern Cutlery knife right out of the gate. They want to see if it's something they like first. So overall, knives put together fairly decently. Like I said, $20. I think the blades do have some blade play, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's a little bit. It's nothing horrible. but there's a little bit of blade play. So I'll probably try to fix that. I know some people have asked for videos on that. Just the way that I do it, it would be really hard to film and the phone would be shaking like crazy and it just wouldn't be a good video. I'm sure there's people out there that have videos on that kind of thing, but basically, I just have an old hammerhead because I don't have a vise or an anvil or anything crazy like that. Um, so I just put the head of the hammer down, wrap some cloth around the bolster of the knife, and I have a little like I call it a framing hammer. I don't know what it's actually called, and I just kind of tap on the bolster until I get to where I need it to be. Sometimes you need to hit a little bit harder. Sometimes you barely need to hit it at all. Just depends on the knife. Um, but anyway, a little bit of blade play, not the end of the world or anything. If I was not super like OCD about that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't worry about it. But overall, really good looking knife. Knife has half stops. The action's pretty good on the main blade and on the spay blade. Both blades' actions are pretty good. I don't know how well the carbon steel on this knife will hold up when compared to higher end carbon steels and everything. My one gripe with the knife, really, other than a little bit of blade play, the nail neck on this one isn't quite as bad, but it's still a little shallow. And then the nail neck on the spay blade here is really shallow. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like a deeper nail neck. I don't know why Rough Ryder insists on doing the match strike nail pulls. Your knives don't need to have the match strike thing. I I would imagine it costs more to do that, and I'd rather not have it because I'm not concerned about a knife like this looking fancy. This is a hunting knife, most people would say. So having it look fancy is kind of silly with your match strike nail pulls. Um, but yeah, the one on the spade blade's certainly too shallow, and they're both a little shallow. Would like deeper nail necks. Don't necessarily love the match strike nail pulls, but that's just Rough Ryder and what you deal with when you buy a Rough Ryder knife. Like I said before, I'm not really buying any Rough Ryder knives other than this series because of the carbon steel and the bone handles are actually pretty cool, um, regardless of the fact of the black stuff wearing off or whatever. But yeah, this series is a cool series for me because it's closer to what a traditional knife should be in my mind. Bone handles, carbon steel blades, but it's still like $20. So super cool series. I'm all about it. And this jumbo trapper is really cool, and I like it. If you have $20 laying around and you want to have a knife that's ridiculous, maybe you want to see if you like big pocket knives. Maybe go pick one of these up from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. But yeah, I like it. $20, good price on it. Good looking knife, pretty well made. A little bit of blade play, not a huge deal. And the nail nicks are a little shallow, which is the bigger problem in my mind. Um, but I'm going to try to carry this some because I do like these jumbo trappers. So I think it's a possibility that I do end up carrying this knife at least a little bit, hopefully. A lot of times I don't carry the Rough Riders just because I have other knives that I like more. But it's always cool to have Rough Riders around. In case you want to pull out a cheap pocket knife or whatever. Or, occasionally you run across somebody who doesn't have a pocket knife. And when you're somebody like me that has hundreds, you give them one. That's just how it works. But anyway, Rough Rider Jumbo Trapper in this Cinnamon Bonestag Carbon Steel series. I really like it. Nail necks are a little shallow. That's my only real criticism of this knife. But anyway, it's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.